And these videos and pictures have been shocking. And of course, we are still in hurricane season, so there's still a lot to monitor out there. And one area we're so closely monitoring is in the Gulf of Mexico. So we've talked a lot about this so far this week, but chances for development have not changed a whole lot. In fact, even decreasing a bit. This speaks to how there are still so many forecast models that really struggle to develop these disorganized showers and storms. But we're watching it very closely because regardless of development at this point, this is going to be close to southwest Florida as it drifts northwest into the Gulf. Those showers and storms possibly at least bringing us a heavy rainmaker event heading into this weekend. We could see a tropical depression or maybe even a tropical storm form from this. But overall, we're still looking at this favored to be a weaker system. Now, we have Hurricane Kirk out in the open Atlantic. No threat to the U.S. The next name is going to be Leslie and then Milton. But I want to show you what Futurecast will look like so you can see that even if we don't actually see a named storm system, we could still see significant impacts here. So you can see all of this tropical moisture, widespread showers and storms starting to filter into the Gulf heading into this weekend. And it's going to be very close to Florida's Gulf Coast and then potentially even seeing, especially near our coastal communities, heavy rain really ramping up Sunday and into many days next week. So we are looking at likely a heavy rain event, if nothing else. So we are looking at the next 7 days, inland rainfall potential about 2 to 4 inches and then 4 to still possibly 6 inches along the coast. That would be well above what we typically take on in the entire month of October. Counting down to the end of hurricane season, 59 days left. Remember, we go all the way through the end of November. And so far this hurricane season, we're at 11 named storms, 7 hurricanes, 2 major. So it has been a very active season so far. Live Doppler radar is sweeping clear, though, as we continue to closely monitor the final weeks of the rainy season. We are looking at pop-up showers and storms later on this afternoon. I am tracking an onshore wind today, so that will guide most of the showers inland. We'll initially see some showers by the coast, but then scattered storms really setting up around sunset back toward Hendry and Glades counties, producing heavy rain, lots of lightning, and even some gusty winds. After the sun goes down, we could see some of those storms build back toward the coast, but overnight we will all dry back out as temperatures dip back down into the upper 70s. Now, the next couple of days, we're going to be seeing our typical rainy season pattern with highs in the 90s and increasing rain chances and even more cloud coverage as well heading into the weekend. So I do not expect the weekend to be a washout as of now, but I do expect, just because of all the disorganized showers and storms that will be in the Gulf, to start to track towards southwest Florida heading into next week. We could be fairly unsettled, and notice temperatures will take a hit as well due to all the rain. Highs only in the mid to upper 80s, mornings down into the mid 70s. That's your NBC2 First Alert forecast. Popping up with the peak heating of the day. Temperatures are back to the 90s. For the rest of the work week, we'll be holding into the 90s, but it's going to be very humid all over again. So feeling as hot as the triple digits, but we do not meet the criteria for any sort of heat advisory. So that's the good news. As far as our wind speeds, near standstill this morning. Nice calm as you step outdoors, but I do expect more of a pronounced onshore wind heading into the afternoon, and that's what's going to drive a lot of the storms east of I-75. So just like we saw yesterday, initially closer to the coast, we'll see a couple of these pop-up showers around 1, but then storms building in intensity and coverage, scattered storms by around the evening commute. If you live closer to the coast, the better chance of staying dry heading into early tonight. I do expect some of these storms to try to build back west after the sun goes down. We start to see winds calm down again, but we'll all dry out heading into the overnight with temperatures down into the upper 70s. It's going to be another very warm, very muggy evening tonight with that wind back out of the east overnight, allowing for some of those showers to initially be inland, but then work back toward the coast. What about tomorrow? Still in the rainy season for the next few weeks. We are counting down the days until the dry season returns, typically by October 15th. But into tomorrow should be another nice, beautiful dry start, but pop-up showers developing again heading into about 2-3 o'clock. Scattered storms with a bit of a pattern flip tomorrow. Many coastal spots favored to see the downpours, some lightning, some gusty winds. There's even into around 6, and then starting to see those storms push on out over the Gulf. So what you're going to see the rest of the work week is our typical rinse and repeat pattern. Nothing out of the norm until we get into the weekend and early next week. The potential to see much wetter than usual weather. We are looking at 3 to 5 inches of rain for many inland spots here, and we're talking about 4 to 6 inches of rain for many coastal communities. Now, when we take a look at our average monthly rainfall, we're starting to transition into this drier season. Typically, our average rainfall for September, look at this, 9 inches. October already down to only about 3 inches of rain, and by the time we're in November, our average monthly rainfall less than 2 inches. So it's going to take the next 2 weeks to really start to transition into this, but we're also dealing with the potential influence of the tropics. So we're looking at that disturbance in the Gulf that, regardless of if it even develops, is likely to increase those rain chances into the weekend and early next week. So I'm keeping coverage high in terms of cloud cover, in terms of storm coverage, but temperatures also taking a hit down into the mid to upper 80s because of all the storms, and mornings into the mid 70s. By the way, looking toward the end of the next week, seeing early signs that we could see much drier air moving on in on Friday, starting to finally decrease rain opportunities. But we'll take a look at what we're tracking in the Gulf and everything we know with this potential tropical development